This is Texans TV. Texans Extra Points is sponsored by BHP and by Reliant, the official energy provider of the Houston Texans, and by your Houston area Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
We are ready to rock in Houston. Touchdown, Houston!
Are you kidding? What a catch! Oh, baby!
Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving week and you're enjoying leftovers with your family and friends. This is not a leftover. This is Texans Extra Points, and we've got a lot to get into because we got Cecil Shorts III, a longtime NFL receiver, joining us. You doing okay today?
I'm doing well.
It's good to see you, my friend. We've got some things to talk about, and my name, of course, is Drew Dougherty. I'm your host, and we got to start some things off with news of the week. And for that, we go to the quick hits, and Tyrod Taylor bounced back in a big way last Sunday in Nashville. 3 weeks back, had a tough one against the Dolphins, but he righted the ship, led the Texans to victory, and he's looking to do more of that on Sunday against the Jets.
And when he goes out and he does what he did yesterday and taking care of the football and doing his job, good things happen. And it goes all through the team, not just our offense, but with the entire team.
A bit of news earlier in the week, the Texans let go of running back Phillip Lindsay. The veteran is no longer a Houston Texan, so things get shuffled in the running back room.
I think they'll just kind of, keep going as they've been playing. Obviously, Rex's workload has kind of increased a little bit. David's workload's kind of increased, and then we have Royce. So, just those guys have done everything we've asked them to do. They've done a good job learning the game plan and coming out every day and practicing, and look forward to them doing the same thing.
And how about those New York Jets? They're struggling as well. They've got a rookie quarterback in Zach Wilson who gets the start here at NRG Stadium noon on Sunday. The Texans explained the challenge that is in front of them.
Zach Wilson has played early in the year, so we have video on him and I know about his career. I know he's an athletic guy that can make any throw. And when you're playing a guy like that, there are certain things that you have to do. We set our defense up for athletic quarterbacks, and so hopefully we'll be able to shut them down.
Okay, so that's some news of the week. Cecil Shorts III. Texans get a W. The offense, you saw 2 Tyrod Taylor touchdown runs. What'd you learn about the Texans offense last weekend? It was a weird game. It was in the rain, but what did you see?
You know what? It was a weird game, and what I learned is we still got some work to do on the offensive side of the ball. But I think what they did well was in that red zone, putting the ball in Tyrod's hands. He can make plays, either passing it or, guess what, get out of the pocket, make some plays with his feet. And he did a really good job protecting the ball, no turnovers this week, and then getting in the end zone with his feet. Yeah,
you talk about protecting the ball, huge key to victory, and then you get the 5 takeaways. That's why you win the game. Yeah. Another factor in that, though, is after getting smoked time and time again in South Florida a few weeks back. I mean, he got hit 9 times. He was sacked 5 times. Yeah. He was hit once all day. He did not get sacked at all. The pass protection was outstanding. Now, David Culley explained some of that away by saying, hey, we ran the ball 30-plus times, so we didn't expose him. It doesn't matter. You go against that front, those 3 guys in Landry and Autry and Jeffrey Simmons, who I think is one of the best players in the NFL now.
Absolutely.
With an offensive line that really, you only had left guard Titus Howard starting on Sunday. He was the only guy that started the season up front. I don't care what you say. That was an excellent effort. They kept him clean.
That is a win. And when you mentioned Simmons, how good he is, and that D-line, actually the whole Titans defense has been rolling the last 4 or 5 weeks. So when you can keep Tyrod clean and they're getting the ball out quickly when they did throw the ball. And it's important to have a run game, even because it was wet outside, it was rainy. So they did an awesome job protecting Tyrod this week.
Yeah, you do get to run it a lot, but you didn't get to run it the way you want it. I mean, you're still averaging under about 3 yards a carry, which is it's just inexcusable. You can't do that. How do you jiggle things in the running game? You see the exit of Lindsay this week. You're probably going to see a little bit more Royce Freeman, Johnson, and Burkhead still there. What do you got to do?
In my opinion, you need to find who your running back is. I would get a guy, try to get him in the rhythm, whether it's Royce, whether it's Johnson, whether it's Burkhead, whoever it is. Let's find a guy. Let's get him some reps, get him some real quality. Okay, schemes and get going with the ball. Find out offensive line-wise, whoever's in there, the five, what are they good at? Are they good at the counter scheme, the power scheme? Is it zone, outside or inside? What are we good at? And then dress it up. So now you can go, okay, you can run zone all day with 3 tight ends in the game. You can do it from 4 receivers with 2 out wide. So mixing it up, but doing what your offensive line does well, and then finding your running back that has some rhythm and can run with the offensive scheme.
And for those of you screaming, why didn't you idiots mention Scotty Phillips? Chill. All right, he's not coming back this week. We know about it. So let's talk a little bit about Scotty Phillips. He had a good August. He could be a guy that you see some more of in the weeks to come, as you say, in finding a running back for the future, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think everybody's on the table because right now you don't have a solidified number 1 running back. We thought it was Mark, he ended up getting traded, and then you start working guys in. Now Lindsay's gone. So now when Scotty comes back, hey, it's fair game. If you continue what you did in August, which wasn't bad, do it in the game, then we can see what happens.
Hey, we will see what happens for sure. And we loved what happened in Nashville with the defense getting 4 picks, and then you get a special teams takeaway as well. So we're going to go to the telestrator. We're going to look at the second Desmond King interception. He had 2 last Sunday.
He did.
And John Harris is going to break it down in the telestrator.
Welcome to Texans Illustrated, presented by BMW. I'm your host, John Harris. And it's time to take a look back at one of the many important plays, but this one took place in the 4th quarter. And I think it was successful because it was a little different from the norm. You'll see what I'm talking about here. So let's go to our Surface, presented by Microsoft. And the Titans come out here with 11 personnel. Actually, 10 personnel. 11. 1 back, 1 tight end. And the Texans are not going to play their traditional Tampa 2. Anthony Ferkser is going to come in motion here, and when he does, Eric Murray is going to bump inside. That indicates, okay, this is man coverage. So they're going to lock up man-to-man, and watch Ryan Tannehill when Ferkser moves. Just watch the quarterback and watch his head. And I'll tell you what he's doing here. He looks out. See that little quick look out to the left? Watch this. He sends him, he looks out there, he looks out to the left, and he looks back. He knew right away he was going to this. That's what he wanted. He knew man coverage. He knew he wanted this because he expected Justin to come help on the bunch. That's why he didn't look out there and stare out there. He just gave it a quick glance, knew what he had out there. That's where he was going. I can promise you Desmond King had an idea. That little quick glance and the continued look over here, he's not coming over here. So when the ball is snapped, Tannehill looks immediately over here, right? Because what does he want to do? He wants Justin to commit, because then he wants Fitzpatrick right there. Justin does a great job of sitting in the middle. See how he doesn't move? He sits in the middle so he can play all the routes. And in breaking from the bunch, the slant or the glance over here, he can play all those routes. Tannehill's eyes didn't get Justin to move. Now the pressure's coming, and now he's got to throw it. And then this is the key, the final key. Desmond King up here does a great job running the route for the receiver. And because he cuts in front of Fitzpatrick, Fitzpatrick doesn't know what to do, so he fades out this way. Tannehill wanted him to come this way. But right there, Desmond cuts in front. That is what great cornerbacks do. He then goes and catches the ball and sets off pandemonium here. And you can watch this idiot right here. He loses his mind. Well, we'll get to him in a second. Just watch. And there we go. Go score. No, we're going to hop around. Pretty happy guys right there. Now, let's take a look at the rush. And by the way, that's me if you didn't know. They're not going to let Tannehill sit still, which I love. They're going to bring both backers and load them up to one side, because that's going to force the back to take one, and the second is going to loop around. Brilliant call by Lovie Smith, and even Zach Cunningham gets through, but Kamu's going to make the hit on Tannehill. He can't step into that throw, and it's ball game. That's how rush and coverage all work together beautifully to come up with an interception at the right time.
I formation, Schaub bootlegs out to the left side. Has time, throws deep downfield, wide open. Owen Daniels, rock and roll, touchdown Houston. The Texans strike. A TD pass to Owen Daniels from Matt Schaub, good for 34 yards.
Yes, 2012 Texans were up in New Jersey taking on the New York Jets, and they started things off with a Matt Schaub to Owen Daniels touchdown. Owen was turning up the pressure back then. Good to see OD. We love OD around here. Good tight end. Cecil Shorts III, you're a good receiver. You played for the Texans here, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that a little bit later, so keep that in mind. Let's talk about this defense. Takeaways this season have been phenomenal. They've got 19 already with 7 games to go. All of last year they had 9. They didn't even get to double digits, so they're well ahead of the pace. Just that ethos, that thought, like we got to get the ball away, we got to slap it away, we got to pick it off. Yeah. It's paid dividends. Now, not wins and losses wise, but it's paid dividends and helped you out and kept you in games at times that it wouldn't have.
Absolutely. And then turnovers come in bunches, as you saw last Sunday, right? So when you get one, the others come and guys get excited and they get going. But that's been the mindset since preseason. That's been the mindset since training camp started. And they've been, Lovie Smith and the crew has been really emphasizing we need to get the ball. And that's a big thing they want to improve on, and they have been doing that. And it puts the offense in better situations. Now, can the offense do better? Yeah, we can worry about that later. But right now, defensive side of the ball, they're doing an outstanding job when it comes to takeaways.
You know, we didn't see Jonathan Grenard last week because of the injury. He's been, the shining star on defense this year. But anybody else stood out to you that's kind of, surprised you, played better than you thought?
You know what? Malik Collins has been showing his face a little bit, but I absolutely love Desmond King. I think the last few weeks he's been, of course, the interceptions and that whatnot, but he's been there in coverage. He's been making tough plays, making the tough breakups, and you can see why he was an All-Pro not too long ago. So just to see him have a real good, kind of not a breakout game, but a game that really stood out in front of everybody was a big deal. Yeah,
and those 2 interceptions, each of them was just incredible in the way it happened. Like, you wish he could have just drifted a little further into the end zone on the other one to get out of the shadow of the goalpost. But that was a tough play to make. I mean, he's really shown some things, and then he's also been very valuable as a punt returner. The one time he had a punt return, he took it back 10 yards. How huge is that for an offense when you get an extra 10 yards of cushion?
The game is all about field position. And when you have a guy back there that you trust, that you know is going to make plays back there and be smart with the ball, and can get positive gains, it's like another play of the offense, right? So you got a 10-yard, that's a first down for us. Now we're instead of on the 25-yard line, we're on the 35-yard line. Or instead of we're on the 15, now we're on the 25. So now we're moving forward. That's an offensive play technically. So when you have a guy you trust back there like Desmond King, he's just another extension of the offense.
Speaking of special teams, we knew coming into the season, Kamu Grugier-Hill, he's a good special teamer. He's been a vital guy. He was a captain in Philadelphia. They won a Super Bowl. Kamu Grugier-Hill was a part of that. I don't know that any of us really saw what he was going to do defensively that he's done this year. He set career highs in just about every statistical category. He's a leader, and he had that pick for 82 yards on Sunday. How awesome was that?
I wish he would have scored. He was so close. I know he was tired at the end. They had to help him up. He was like,
The lactic acid, he said, was doing him in.
But he's stepping up. He's stepping up to the plate. He's getting to the ball. He's doing a decent job in coverage. He's coming down hard in the running game. So when you have a guy like that's kind of earning his spot and earning his way, who's mainly for special teams, but he's coming in and earning his way. It's a sight to see, and I'm happy for him.
All right, it's time to get into Texans Trivia, of which you're going to be a little part, sort of.
Okay.
But the last time the Texans played the Jets here, it was 2015. 3 men threw touchdown passes that day. All of them played for the Texans at one point in their history. Give me those 3 later on here on Texans Extra Points. We'll be back in just a moment.
In 2015 was a bananas season for the Texans. It was the first playoff season for Bill O'Brien, and at one point this team was 3 games under 500 about halfway through the year. In the middle of the win streak and kind of the climb back, it was mid-third quarter, you're locked up 10 apiece at home against the Jets. TJ Yates is your quarterback, and you've got an interesting setup on offense, and you have some razzle-dazzle. We love trick plays.
Yes.
So let's talk about this one.
Doesn't love trick plays? And who doesn't love the NFL being a copycat league? Because that's exactly what this was. The year before, at the end of the year in 2014, the Jacksonville Jaguars came to Houston, and on I think it was 3rd or 4th quarter, Cecil Shorts threw a touchdown pass on a very similar looking play. Well, at least that's what I thought. I remember seeing this when this happened and thought, that looks very similar. Offensive coordinator at the time, George Godsey, said, oh yeah, that's the exact same play. And it was the exact same guy throwing it in Cecil Shorts. and it's fantastic. It's a double pass, and you'll see Cecil he lines up there inside the numbers, and then he goes out, and they're trying to get a read on what coverage, but they just want to get him out here where he can then step back.
He's out on Revis Island there.
He's out on Revis Island for just a little bit, and you see how that throw is backwards. That throw is backwards to make sure that you can throw it twice. Fedorowicz is clearing out over here, so he's just taking anybody that's just not paying attention. They see Fedorowicz going, and you'll see Cromartie over here just kind of hanging out. When he sees that pass, he knows, oh, he's going to throw it. He's thinking he's throwing it to Fedorowicz. So he just takes off like, oh, I got to go. All the while, Alfred Blue just acting like he's doing nothing back over here. Just like right here, he's just acting like, I'm just hanging out watching this, and then takes off right down the seam, wide open. And Cecil just hits him right in stride. Place went crazy. It was a tremendous play for the Texans to pull out at this point. And you hear it see it from this side, Cecil making the great toss. Look at that, just right on cue. Alfred Blue flying like a jet, and the Texans will go on and win this ball game and keep that winning streak going.
Ah, yes. The guy to my left, Cecil Shorts the third. I'll get that out, Cecil. Throwing a touchdown pass to Alfred Blue back in 2015. When you got the play call, how much did your ears prick up in that one?
I was excited. I was ready. I'm like, I kind of knew it was coming. They said after the first big play, we're going to run it. And I think the play before, I had like a 60-yard catch or something. So I knew it was coming, and I was just ready.
Just because you had already caught them, there's disarray going on because of
they're
big
upset.
play.
Big play just happened, and normally we kind of take shot plays after like a turnover.
Yeah.
But in that situation, we're like, hey, we're going to hit him with a trick play after a real big play, and it worked out perfectly. They all went with the throw to me, and Blue was wide open. He did a good job.
I like it. There are trick plays in this Texans offense that they're not scared to use. They haven't always converted them, but they're all about the gadgetry, and we like that. And you love that too. Trick plays are fun. Okay, let's talk about this Jets team. Whether or not Zach Wilson starts on Sunday, sounds like he will, but whether or not he starts on Sunday, what's it like when you've got a rookie quarterback who's been taken at the tippy top of the draft,
right,
who's clearly got some talent, but is working through some things? How tough is that on the rest of the team?
It's tough. I dealt with this a long time in Jacksonville when I played for them. You're in a situation where you're literally waiting on him to grow up.
Yeah.
And you only grow up with repetition. You only grow up with playing the game. So there's going to be some good. There's going to be probably a lot of bad, right? Mm-hmm. So I think Zach has a lot of potential. It's just right now he's going through it, and he's going through the growing pains. You know, he's going through the growing pains of a quarterback, learning how to read defenses. Is probably flying by him right now. Still learning the playbook, still learning chemistry with the guys because he was out a few weeks, and you don't have a plethora of guys on the outside or Michael Carter's a good running back, but he's out this week. But you don't have like horses around you. Like you're like, hey, I can just give them the ball. They can make plays. They're still young too.
Right.
And so it's just a rebuilding process in New York right now, especially on the offensive side. So it's going to be tough, and it's tough as a player to be there because it's like, all right, I want to make plays, I want to do this, but it depends on your quarterback. And you only get better as he gets better. So you got to just kind of withstand it and support him and be there for him. But I think Zach does have a bright future.
Okay, good to know. We got to get into players to watch. We've got yours, and we're going to tell you in just a second. But which Texan you keep an eye on against the Jets?
Brandon Cooks.
Okay.
He is a guy I think we need to get the ball more. Last week it was raining. Didn't throw that much, especially down the field. I think Tyrod only threw for like 4 yards a throw last week. Cooks needs to touch the ball, 8 to 10 targets. If we get him involved with some big plays down the field, I think we can separate ourselves pretty early in the game.
Good stuff. I'm going to go with Kamu Grugier-Hill. We were talking about him earlier. He's in the middle of that defense.
Yeah.
The Jets will give it up. They are worst in the NFL in turnover differential. The Texans are actually pretty good in that category right now. Tied for about 13th or +2. Jets are dead dog last in the NFL. They got to get better at that. You guys went with El Toro, Roy Lopez. We had the most votes. He was also the player, or the fans' pick last week as a Texan to watch. He's playing well. The rookie's making an impact. He's doing really good stuff. We've got more good stuff on Texans Extra Points. Don't you move a muscle.
Texans Extra Points has been sponsored by BHP, by Reliant, the official energy provider of the Houston Texans, and by Cigna, together all the way.
Oh, the last time the Texans and Jets linked up in this stadium was 2015. You threw a touchdown pass. Who were the other two that threw touchdown passes that day in the entire game? They had all played for or played with the Texans at some point.
Okay.
TJ Yates also tossed one. And the other quarterback on the other side of the field was Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh.
Fitzy went deep and got a touchdown pass in the game. But the Texans won that one, and that was a fun afternoon. We like it when they win. And that was in the midst of a kind of a turnaround that you guys just struggled out of the gate and then wind up peeling off a bunch of wins at the end of the season, go to the playoffs. So Cecil Shorts the third. Thank you for being with us here in the Ford Studios and here on Texans Extra Points. Time to get into Ticketmaster keys to a victory. What are two things Texans got to do against the Jets to come away victoriously?
Number one, rookie quarterback.
Yep.
He's going to give you some gifts. Continue to take the ball away.
Okay.
You're doing an awesome job. When he gives you a gift, I know it's Thanksgiving right now, so be thankful that the ball's coming to you. Take the ball away, continue the turnovers, right?
Okay.
Secondly, going back to my player to watch, I think we got to give Brandon Cooks touches. He needs 8 to 10 targets, finding different creative ways, even give him some speed sweeps, some screens.
Sure.
Let's get him involved. He's the playmaker. He got over 600 yards, on his way to 1,000 again. Get him the ball some type of way, and it could be all right.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks, he gets the job done. Doesn't matter who's throwing on the ball. In some ways, it's a little bit like what DeAndre Hopkins used to do. Didn't matter who's throwing it, he could catch it and he could do good things with it. As for me, you got to keep getting the takeaways, like you said, as far as the turnover differential. Texans got to be +3 or more. That's the only time they've won.
Ooh.
Even when they're positive, they don't always win. They're 2-2 this year, but go multi-takeaways more than your opponent. Okay. Can't wait to see you again next week. Thank you for coming on. We hope you had a great Thanksgiving with the family as well.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you took it easy on the turkey? Or you
No, I threw down, man.
Good. That's the way to do it. You must throw it out. All right. Take care. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much to everyone involved in making this a possibility. We'll see you again. This is Texans Extra Points.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to know when we post new content.